So today we are going to be covering Microsoft Word for beginners, and I'm using a Microsoft Word 2010. There are various things that you can learn from in Microsoft Word, and we're doing just the basics of Microsoft Word. But some of the important things to learn about, even when covering the basics, is that you can change the font up here, or you can change the size of our document of the font. For instance, I am highlighting up here this word that says, this phrase that says this is a test document. Once I highlight this phrase, I can change the size. I can make it go larger, or I can make it go smaller, just depending on what I would like to do. And I'm just doing this from the drop-down menu of our size. I can also change the font that I would like to do. There's various different fonts that we have that are already offered through Microsoft Word. So today I'm going to be using this font called Century Gothic. Microsoft Word already has a default font that when you start working with, it's called Calibri. You are able to change your fonts when you want to, but for a lot of college essays or writing specific formal documents, you're usually doing formal writings in the default font, Calibri, or a font called Times New Roman. But today we're going to be working with, I'm going to work with Century Gothic. So now that I have my font highlighted, I chose the size that I wanted for my title. I can choose the different colors. Up here, when you hover over our different icons, it tells you the different things that they are. This one is called font color. I decided that I can change my color and I wanted to do it in green, and you can choose which color you'd like. There are more colors to choose from. You can choose from this color over here, or you can choose from a specific color. If you also have the hex number, which is a very specific color, you can enter it here and it'll pull up the specific color. Or if you just want to play with the color wheel, you can just go ahead and choose the color that you like. Now that I feel like I like this new color, I'm going to click on that. And here is my new color. There are couple other things that we can do with formatting. I'm going to go ahead and bold my phrase. I can underline if I want to. And these are all done up here, right underneath our font. I can italicize if I wanted to. And it's all done once we highlight our document. Highlighting is simply done by holding your cursor and dragging this phrase. And then you can also do a couple other things. If you wanted to highlight something, you can go ahead and click on this little color. It says text highlight color once you hover over it, and choose which color you would like. Now that we have done our formatting for our title, we are going to do a little bit in the paragraph section. In the paragraph section, you can do different aligns. So you can align it to the left or the center. In this section of our title, we already have it aligned to the center. But if you wanted to change this document to the left, you can just simply click on Align to the left and it will move over. Same with the right, and it moves over. Today, we're going to keep this in the center. If I wanted to add some bullet points to my next phrase, I would just simply click on the bullet point list on the top. If I had other things to list here, for example, on this section, I would click on, press enter as I would start my next sentence and add bullet points. Again, enter, and it'd keep adding bullet points. Since I have this clicked, it is going to keep adding bullet points. If I want it removed, I would take this off and then it'll stop my bullet points. But since I want to keep adding them, it's going to continue. Now Since I clicked off this section, it removes my bullet points. I'm no longer clicked on it. But once I move my cursor back up here, it's highlighted again. So just remember when you are playing with this, where your cursor is, and be mindful of that. You can also change these bullet points. If you have your item highlighted, you can also change it to a number mode. So these can be listed as numbers or bullets. If you click on this little arrow drop down, you have other options that you can choose from. You can do little checkpoints or little square bullets. It's all up to you how you want it to display. The next part we're going to cover is our spacing. So when we highlight over this, we will look in here and see what spacing we're at. We're at 1.0. You can add double spacing or even more. A lot of papers, college papers, do ask for 2.0 spacing, but it really depends on what specifications you have. But here today, if you wanted to add more or less, you have these options to choose from. If you're on line spacing options, you'll notice that we're all at zeros and single. Whenever we open a new Microsoft Word document, it's always defaulted to with some spaces inside the document. You'll notice here that it already starts giving me some space in here. So when I go back up and I click on line spacing options, it's at multiple and 8. So that's what your document is defaulted at. And if you don't want to have that, you can go back to single and 0. And now we don't have any spaces in between. So it's totally up to you how you want to format your document, but usually for papers and such, your teacher and professors usually do ask for spacing in there. When you're writing usually papers, you'll have MLA formatting, APA formatting, it depends, but you'll have a little header that you'll have to put in, and these kinds of headers will ask specific spacing options, and that's what you'll do in this drop-down menu. You notice today we primarily covered just in our Home tab, but there's so much more that you can do in Microsoft Word. You have all these other tabs that you can work with, and since this is just a beginner tutorial, we really worked on formatting options and the things you can work with on that. So go ahead and type some stuff up. You can work on a lot of things in Microsoft Word and give it a try. If you have any questions or concerns, send us an email and we'll be happy to help you.